Isabel Wheeler. It is November 7th of 2019. This is week 2 video lab exercise of the cardiovascular system of the heart. So in this video, I'm going to be dissecting a sheep's heart, and then I'm going to be identifying different parts of the sheep's heart. Okay, so I'm going to start off by labeling the external posterior parts of the sheep's heart. I'm going to be starting off with the right ventricle. The right ventricle is right here. The right ventricle is the lower right chamber of the heart that receives deoxygenated blood from the right atrium and pumps it under low pressure into the lungs via the pulmonary artery. Parallel to that, we have the left ventricle. The left ventricle is the thickest of the heart's chamber, and it's responsible for pumping oxygenated blood to tissues all over the body. In between the right and the left ventricle, we have the interventricular sulcus, and that is shallow grooves containing blood vessels, and that marks the separation between the two ventricles on the front and the back surfaces of the heart. So we see it right here in the middle, and then on the back it's also in the same place. We have the aorta right up here. So the aorta was one that I chose to identify. That is right there. The aorta is the main artery that carries blood away from the heart to the rest of the body. After the blood leaves the heart through the aortic valve, it travels through the aorta, making a cane-shaped curve that connects with other major arteries to deliver oxygen-rich blood to the brain, muscles, and other cells. We also have pulmonary arteries. So the pulmonary arteries are right here. The pulmonary artery carries deoxygenated blood from the right ventricle to the lungs. The blood here passes through the capillaries adjacent to the alveoli and becomes oxygenated as part of the process of respiration. In contrast to the pulmonary arteries, the bronchial arteries supply nutrition to the lungs themselves. I have the external posterior view of the sheep's heart. I chose to identify and locate the right auricle of the heart, as well as the superior vena cava. So the right auricle is right here on the heart. It is also known as the right atrial appendage. It is attached to the heart's right atrium, and it's a small cone-shaped pouch, which comes from the upper and the front part of the atrium, and it overlaps the root of the aorta. Right here we have the superior vena cava. Superior vena cava returns deoxygenated blood from the systemic circulation to the right atrium of the heart. It is a large diameter, so it's 24 millimeters in diameter, short in length, and it is a vein that receives venous return from the upper half of the body above the diaphragm. Here is the internal anatomy of the left side of the sheep's heart. So I cut into the left side of the heart to see the left atrium. So the left atrium is located right here, right there. The left atrium is one of the 4 chambers of the heart located on the left posterior side. Its primary roles are to act as a holding chamber for the blood returning from the lungs and act as a pump to transport blood to the other areas of the heart. The internal anatomy of the right side of the sheep's brain. So we have the right atrium, which is located right there. The right atrium is the right upper chamber of the heart. It receives deoxygenated blood from the body through the vena cava, and it pumps it to the right ventricle, which then sends it to the lungs to be oxygenated. Okay, so I have just dissected the sheep's heart. I have located and identified different parts of the heart. I have identified the ones required: the right atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle, interventricular sulcus, and then the 4 that I chose was the aorta, the superior vena cava, pulmonary artery, as well as the right auricle.